Okay, holy shit. There's a lot to cover with Hawkwind. So when this one came up, I had to kind of decide how to approach it. And I think I'm just going to talk, a little bit about the band, not really get too much into the history. And then we'll zero in on the featured song, which is part of my 100 songs list. This is episode 97. And today's entry is a live version of the song Magnu. And this is from We Are Looking In On You, which is a really cool album cover. And the album cover is perfect for Hawkwind. It's very kind of what the band is about. It represents really well. But it was recorded live in 2021, which is really not that long ago. And the album came out in 2022. And the original version of Magnu came out in 1975. 1975. Which is a long time ago. So, when you think of Hawkwind, you might think of rock, hard rock, space rock, jams, psychedelic, sci-fi, heavy touring with dancing ladies, progressive, influential, and on and on and on and on. You might even think of Lemmy Kilmister, of course, Motorhead, as Lemmy's roots are in Hawkwind, and he actually formed Motorhead after being in Hawkwind, and that's how I discovered Hawkwind. Big Motorhead fan, and I said, well, what does this guy do before that? And so I started listening to Hawkwind because of Lemmy, but I never kind of went beyond a handful of really old records. And for some reason, I can't remember why, this came out a couple years ago, and I started listening to it. I think it showed up on my, here's a new record you might like list. Also known as the, what do they call that in Spotify? The new release radar. I think it showed up on there, and then I started listening to it, and I listened to it, this record, like, so much. I listened to it a lot. I really, really liked it. And it showed up on my my end of year Spotify list as like one of the things I listened to the most for all of 2023. And or was it 2022? It was one of the 2 years is when I listened to it a shitload. I really liked it. So I've been kind of going back in the catalog. I started by listening to all of their live music. They've got a bunch of live albums, like a lot. Over the years, they've re-released them and re-released them. And I went through and I listened to them all. And then I kind of pieced together a best of, or my favorite live songs. And now I want to start working through the catalog of studio releases. But my God, it is huge. They have a million albums. I don't remember how many they have. They have a lot. So prolific, but more importantly, just withstanding withstanding the test of time. So, formed in 1969 and still going. Formed in London, England, and still going all of these years later. Well past 50 years. That's just incredible. It's just incredible. So, hats off to rocking out that long. And this isn't one of those things where, they were popular for 20 or they performed for 20 years, disappeared for 15 years, performed for another 5, disappeared for another 10. One of those type of things. No, this is like fairly steady state. There's been some breaks, and things like that. But no huge breaks, and just, like I said, just very, very prolific, deep catalog. Anyway, Dave Brock, singer, songwriter, guitarist, is their only remaining member. And when you do some research on this band, you will see a very long list of folks that have ever been in this band. So a lot. Now there's some, more prominent members, and then there are kind of this revolving door of other members. But a lot of lineup changes. Doing history coverage would take forever. Lemmy, who got his music chops, originally tried to play guitar and sucked at it, and then picked up a bass. And he says he got his bass chops playing in this band. But he got fired in 1975 after Warriors on the Edge of Time, excuse me, Warriors on the Edge of Time. After that, he formed Motorhead, and Motorhead went on for a very, very long time until Lemmy's unfortunate death. But he got busted on some drug possession or something like that, and then the band fired him. Anyway, heavy electronics in the 90s. The band kind of pivoted into wow, what's happening here? It's actually probably better if it's blurry, frankly. There's an era in the 90s where they relied heavily on electronics, synthesizer electronics. They do rely on electricity. You know what I mean. God damn it. A lot of bands adopted kind of the synthesizer keyboard thing, particularly in rock in the 80s. You listen to bands' 80s albums, that's when the goddamn synthesizers really go crazy. But they had an era of the 90s where they did a lot of that. One of their members, Nick Turner, who is, I would say probably one of the main names when you think of Hawkwind. He started his own band, Space Ritual, in the early 2000s. There's a lot. I mean, I read the history of this band and the ins and the outs, and they formed a band and then they didn't form. There was a very short period where Dave Brock was not in the band. So there is a little bit of their history, small part of their history where he wasn't involved. But I think of, you think of Dave Brock when you think of Hawkwind. Anyway, heavy listening to 2023, like I said, and we're going to check out the beginning of this, kind of the beginning of the song. It's a long song. They have a lot of long, jammy songs. I like stuff like that. There's a song you really like, and then it just goes on and on and on. It's such a joy to listen to it, because I'm in for 10 minutes of bliss. And then you're like, oh, here's another one after that one. Oh, I love this one too. It's another 10 minutes. It's good shit. So, so this song is, it sounds quite a bit different than the original. There's multiple live versions of it. They all have some similar characteristics, but I like this version the most, but it's probably because it's the one I fell in love with. This latest live version. It's over 10 minutes long. We'll listen to a little bit of the beginning, and then I'll jump towards the middle. There's a long jammy instrumental part. Jesus. All right. First lyrics of the song are up here, and then we'll let it play a little bit and then get to the jammy part. Oh, we'll stop it right there for a second. This is the opening song of the show, so you don't hear a lot of crowd noise or anything at the beginning. You sort of hear this, immediately hear this sound of them sort of firing up, and then the song kicks off right away. But it's opening track, pretty amazing way to start a show. You know, if I was at a show like that and I knew I was about to see a band that was going to play for a long time, it's just so great. Going to live shows like this. So this is just towards the middle. I just randomly picked a part in the middle and listened to a little bit of the instrumental. So there's all this jamming happening, and one of the things I really like about the song is there's this keys, or this synthesizer backdrop that is sort of the foundation, and everything's on top of it. And when the instruments kind of quiet down in between transitioning different solo pieces, the synthesizer in the background is still doing its thing. And kind of providing some continuity, I guess. And I really like that. It's super simple. It's just like, well, I'm not going to try to make the sound, but a little bit hard to hear it in that part. I'll fast forward a little more. Maybe you catch it, but it's just, it's like just this, that sounded dumb. Anyway, let me fast forward a little bit and we'll catch a little bit more of the instrumental part. All right, it's about to get back into the vocals, and one of the things I really like about this is Dave Brock's an old guy at this point. I don't know how old he is, but he's an old guy. And you can hear him harmonizing with what sounds like another old guy, singing together, coming up right here. And I just love that he's out here doing this and doing it so well and just kicking ass. It's so cool to me. So we'll let it play a little bit and then we'll wrap it up here. So good. I think that's what's happening. I can hear the harmony happening. I'm assuming that's what it is and not some kind of sample or recording playing of, like, why would they do that? I'd love to see a video of this. I did look at some live footage of this tour, but I would love it if this was a video. I'd love to see it. There's a lot of good stuff going on this. So you want to get lost for a while and chow down on some good music. Check this out. Put some headphones on and go for a walk and listen to it. It'll change your life. I don't know if it'll change your life, but you should do it anyway. Not everything has to change your life. Okay. Let's do the wheel. We have only a few bands left. And then what? I don't know. So let's check it out. Let's see what's next. Viscera Eyes. Okay, 3 bands left, and it looks like it's going to be the Mars Volta and the song Viscera Eyes. This is a great song. It's a great song. Next time. Thanks.